to play second base. But you know what that means? We start talking about the youngsters. It's time for prospecting with the Welsh. That's right. Every week, the Welsh goes deep into the minor league prospects and brings us some names that you need to know. So Welsh, let's start here with Nick Kurtz, because he just does not stop hitting home runs every single day. More and more home runs. He's up to 7 now, hitting 360 with a 1200 OPS. And you saw Brent Rooker move to outfield for the weekend, a couple starts there. You saw Soderstrom taking grounders at third. I think Nick Kurtz is coming sooner than later. He's only rostered in 50% of leagues right now.
He's the number one guy. These first two guys are kind of like, should be the no-brainers for a lot of people, but these are our updates. So this is the Nick Kurtz update, of course. The most important thing, and we got to monitor how it's going to go this week. I think this is going to be critical to how aggressive they push it. But we saw Brent Rooker play right field over the weekend, by the way, which was interesting. You would assume more of a left fielder. Lawrence Butler was getting the day off. They put Shea Langoliers in at DH. It kind of opens up a path, but then they went right back to Rooker playing DH on Sunday. Let's monitor this week if Rooker does have at least even one more outfield game. I just don't know how much longer they can keep him down there. He has more homers than anybody in professional baseball right now. So that is major leagues or minor leaguers. He is just continuing to smash the ball, big exit velocities, consistent exit velocities. He will thrive in that ballpark. We did a breakdown last week. I don't remember if it was here. I think it was on the live stream we did on Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to hang out, not with Pisapia this week, but me and Joe Rico, we did a breakdown of the ballpark factors this year, and that A's minor league ballpark, there's just no doubt about it. So Kurtz is going to absolutely thrive when given the opportunity. They're showing us little tiny baby signs of what it could look like, where Rooker would play left. You'd have Butler in right, Bleday in the outfield. Right now, Miguel Andujar is the one holding Nick Kurtz back a little bit, and I just don't think the A's are going to allow it too much longer. So Kurtz, your number one hitter that you should be stashing.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think it's going to be this week, Welsh. I really do. I got a feeling in my bones about it. Hopefully I'm right. Let's go to Bubba Chandler. He had another good start at AAA. So when might we possibly see him back again with the Pirates?
So I think it's got to be soon. The only thing is, in this last start, I kind of thought they would push the pitch count up a little bit. So his first start was pretty wonky. He walked 3. He only had 52 pitches, fastball, slider. Second start, he looked phenomenal. Even when he's off, though, his fastball and slider they generate big whiffs. You know, Bubba Chandler's like a high 90s velo guy. 8 strikeouts, 4 innings, 2 walks. His next start, he just had 4 innings. He gave up his first couple earned runs, his first homer, struck out 6, didn't walk any. Batting average is low, but they didn't push the innings. I think he's got to have minimum one more start, and I think they got to push him to 70, and then I think he's on the clock. So I think sometime in late April, early May, that's why if you've got the ability to, you should stash a guy like Bubba Chandler. Not all prospects are like, even if they come up, are worthy of getting out there. Bubba Chandler is a guy that right out the chute, you're going to want to get in. He's going to have high strikeouts. Hopefully the walks are going to be maintained, but I think that's what they're looking for. No one's getting a good batting average off of him. And I think it's going to be one more start after this where we could see him. So both Bubba Chandler and Nick Kurtz could be anywhere from a week and a half to, I mean, you could go much further, but like within the next 2 weeks, I think both of them really, really, really could be on the major league teams.
All right. With the injury to Justin Steele, that means open spot in the rotation. So for the Cubs, what's the internal options look like? Is there somebody maybe you have earmarked that could get an opportunity sooner than later?
So from the minor league standpoint, we've got to stare at Cade Horton. So that's going to be a guy that I don't know if in the like immediate while they're trying to figure out what's going on, if they're going to throw him in there. But with these injury issues, I think it is something they're going to look at. Cade Horton's got 2 starts so far with the AAA Cubs in the minors, a 1.23 ERA, 12 strikeouts. Little bit walky. That's going to be his problem. He has 7 walks in 7 innings pitched, but he's also struck out 12. He's also kind of on the Bubba Chandler pushing the innings. He would be very fantasy interesting, but we've got to see like what that consistency is going to look like. Cade Horton's like a top prospect as well. He's just had some injury problems the last kind of year and a half, not getting tons and tons of work, but I don't know if they'll throw him in right out the chute. They may have some just like weird internal options, maybe look into the free agent market, but I do think we should pay attention to Cade Horton because there's some good strikeout potential and great offensive support. And I think he's about one of the only actual viable, they might have another option or two, but he's one of the viable options that they could go to now that Justin is going to be out for the year.
They're up against it, though. I'm telling you, the Cubs are in a bad spot. I feel like there's 3 guys they couldn't afford to lose this year. Imanaga, Tucker, obviously, and then Steele. And this just puts the Cubs in a bad spot. No offense to Horton here. He can hear all the who's he wants. There's no way he's going to replace Justin Steele. He just can't do it. So maybe give you a couple starts. Maybe can get the walks under control. That would be nice. There is a pitcher that I am excited about. Now, maybe it's going to get a little bit more complicated for Logan Henderson to make it to that rotation with Woodruff getting another rehab start this week and Tobias Myers working his way back. But regardless, you have to look at the work so far that Logan Henderson has done this year. 14 innings, 24 strikeouts for him, 3.21 ERA. I talked about him on the Sunday TV show quite a bit. This is a guy that I want to stash on my bench in deeper leagues because I do think at some point there's going to be 10 to 12 starts to be had for Logan Henderson. Because if you keep pitching like this, and now all of a sudden there's an opening in this division that maybe, just maybe, the Brewers are like, okay, we're right back in this thing. We can fix some of the things that have gone wrong. Yes, the rotation's been rough to start the year, but Logan Henderson could be one of the answers, Welsh.
I do think he could be. I mean, they've also got Jacob Mizorowski, who I really think when Mizorowski comes up, he's probably going to, if it's this year, it would be in some form of like relief. There's still some like walk questions with him. Logan Henderson had that a little bit early on, but his last start really picked it back up. He's now got a 3 ERA. He's striking out everybody I've mentioned, because I watched him a lot last year. He's a command guy, and I think he is best suited, because that's the other thing. Mizorowski's kind of the bigger fantasy talent, but I think Logan Henderson's best suited to jump into a rotation and maybe hold it for a bit. But like you said, there's weird questions about, you've got Tobias and you've got Woodruff coming here soon, but it doesn't mean they're not going to need the help. Logan Henderson's last really good start kind of activates that clock as well. So he's a tier under the guys we've been talking about. I mean, I think him and Cade Horton are kind of in the same general vicinity. Kurtz and Chandler, you just got to do it. These guys, they might be really interesting spot starts or more interesting to hold if they are given like a long-term look at a rotation. But I expect Logan Henderson and Cade Horton to probably get a look in the very near future.
All right, one more guy for the Marlins you want to talk about. It's actually a catching prospect.
Yeah, Agustin Ramirez, former New York Yankee. I love Agustin Ramirez. Big hard hit numbers. He's super weird too in his just minor league career, because he's one of those guys, like, first off, we don't see big stolen base numbers from catchers, and you kind of always assume they're going to go back down. He stole 22 bases last year, hit 25 homers. Year before that, he stole 12. Year before that, he stole 13. Power has increased 4 straight minor league seasons, and so far in AAA, he's hitting 280 with a 345 OBP. He's stolen 4 bases again. He's got 2 homers. 8 of his 14 hits are extra base variety. And this guy is consistently hitting the ball hard. There's some strikeout stuff with him, but I kind of thought he might get a look here soon because Nick Fortes went on the IL and they're running out 2 lefty catchers. They've got Liam Hicks and I think Rob Brantley. I think with also what the DH situation is looking like there with like Jonah Bride and how gross that is, that you might see Agustin Ramirez come in and do some DH and catching here in the very near future. So I think he would be kind of 2 catcher league fantasy relevant with those big homers. So I take a look at Agustin Ramirez.
Great question here from Rip My Wi-Fi. Is Kurtz so good that you'd be willing to drop Torkelson or Ben Rice? That is a tough, but I think this is, what people are going to start asking themselves. They're going to look at their roster and say, who do I want to drop for Nick Kurtz? I have a tough time dropping Rice for him, and Torkelson's performed very well. It's probably a no for me on those 2, but Welsh, this is tough. Maybe I don't want to drop a 1-for-1 first baseman. If those are the types of guys, though, that are the bottom of your roster, you might not have a choice. So would you drop Rice or Torkelson for the lottery ticket of Kurtz?
I don't think I would. There's a little part of me that doesn't buy what Torkelson's going to do all season long. His strikeout rate's still really, really high, but I think I would not make that move quite yet because it's still in question. We just don't know about Nick Kurtz and when he's actually going to be up. We're just playing speculation. So to drop like really, really productive players right now, I don't think so.
All right. That's Prospecting with the Welsh, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to the Fantasy Pros MLB YouTube channel. Ring the bell till it goes ding. And of course, drop your comments below because somebody's going to win a Nico Horner jersey from Pristine Auction when they do. So again, Prospecting with the Welsh every single Monday here on Leading Off Live, or you can catch it video on demand on YouTube.